Okay, hi everyone. I'm Martijn Kamphuis, Director of Vendor Relations and Strategic Alliances at Realtime Register. Thank you all for being here. It's great to have you here today because today we are spotlighting one of our vendors called Monarx. Monarx is a server level website security solution that automatically detects, blocks, and cleans malware on web hosting servers, especially WordPress and PHP based sites. I'm not doing this alone today. I'm happy to introduce Gilbert Lendras, account executive at Monarx, and Will Lewis, head of product at Monarx. They will tell you more about Monarx today, explain the problem they solve, how to solve it, why it's a lightweight solution, and we will even, or they will even wrap up with a live demo. So yeah, let's kick this off. Gilbert and Will, it's great to have you here today. Let's start. Over to you, Gilbert.
All right. There we go. All right, guys, thank you. Just like Martin said, my name is Gilbert Landris. I'm my counterpart, Will Lewis, Solutions Engineer and Head of Product. And thanks, Martin, for putting this together. I really do appreciate it. On the agenda today, we will discuss the current landscape of malware, the parts of our core agent, our threat shield, and what technology gives us that competitive edge that you guys are looking for. And then we'll go into how we fit in your operation, and then later on, we'll go further into the Monarx product itself. All right. So, why traditional malware scanning is no longer enough? Well, as you know, most security tools rely on the regex and file hashes, which means they only catch malware that's already been seen before, that's been discovered, right? We're different. We build our own agent that uses AI and advanced coding to deobfuscate and analyze how the code actually behaves, not just what it looks like. Lets us detect zero-day malware, heavily obfuscated attacks, and the things that the traditional tools miss. Our agent also continuously learns. So when we add tens of thousands of new behaviors based on what we see every week. And today we have over 400 million malware signatures compared to about the 8 million that our closest competitor has. That's why we detect more threats. So why is this the case? The landscape has changed, right? So the attacks are now AI generated at massive scale. Why? Well, when society finally caught up to the chat GPT, it definitely helped us make our jobs better, but it also helped make the bad guys' jobs better too. So they're able to create new code at scale that we've never seen before. New malware variants appear faster than ever, and oftentimes we'll see things as one way simply because ChatGPT helped them make it look that way, right? While legacy tools fail, again, they rely on the pattern matching. They only detect what's known, and oftentimes need to have the required breach, then analyze it, then upload the database. Okay, and the shift is even this time last year in January 2025, we detected more threats in 1 month than all of 2024. And this volume is clearly driven by the automated AI-powered scripting that powers these malware engines. The bottom line is legacy tools can't keep up anymore with these modern threats. These modern threats require modern solutions, behavior-based security. So what is that, right? This is why we're different. This is an example of our core agent. It's behavior-based detection, not pattern matching. Keep that in mind. So on the first part, you have the micro agent. It runs locally and handles the threats first. If it matches a known signature, it quarantines it and cleans it right away. As it scans, if it discovers an unknown file, they send this to the Monarx cloud, does this analysis, and the cloud returns instructions to tell the agent what to do. This is incredibly important, and I'll circle back on that later in the presentation. The analysis in the cloud keeps the server loads low, and lets us update detections quickly. So we take the heavy lifting away from your server up to us, and it frees up all those resources for you to do what you need to do with it, as opposed to us. So once the instructions are sent, we quarantine, clean, or patch. We'll quarantine if it's a standalone malicious file. We'll clean. We'll use compromise. We'll take out the compromised and injected files so the good code remains, and we'll patch for the known vulnerabilities and update the files that are already in place. The second part to the agent is the Zend extension. It lives inside the PHP runtime and intercepts the system calls. And it'll block the bad behavior in real time before execution using these behavioral signals from the agent. So how Monarch prevents or removes the malware automatically, this is an example. The example thread here runs user input as a system command, and I'm not going to try to read that out. But the legacy scanners miss this because they search for the literal text shell or known hashes. So it's easy evasion. Same behavior, different text. The regex hash scanners don't match. We look at the behavior. We use the AI and the abstract syntax tree to analyze and read the logic, not the letters. This is our advantage. So what Monarch sees flows into the command execution function, recognizes it as a dangerous behavior, and flags it immediately. The result is the text obfuscation fails. We still detect and block the exploit. We read the behavior, not what it looks like. Okay. And this is one of the more competitive edges that we have. Monarch leverages our global network to protect the servers. So as we find new threats, we update our proprietary database, and then everyone around the world that's in our network also gets that too. So if you have a threat that's detected in Singapore, within minutes it's updated in Canada or Netherlands. Okay, detection is broadcast to agents multiple times per minute. So once we find it, again, it's protected everywhere. And it's fully compliant with privacy and security standards. And we update our engine more than anybody else instead of waiting like our competitors do, minute to minute. Occasionally, the next best, occasionally attackers will hide malware inside the PII. If we encounter it, we remove the bad code and purge all the other data, keeping only the malware sample for security purposes. So how Monarch helps reduce cleanup time and support? Well, we want to discuss the comprehensive protection. It's the easiest, fastest scale to close. It's a simple rollout across your entire server. It's price per server per month, and there's no per user friction. So what it does is you install your agent. It's a server-wide protection by default. It automatically protects every site on the server. It'll reduce your operational load, as I discussed earlier, because we do all the heavy lifting in the cloud. And the general outcome is an average about a 40% reduction on support tickets. All right. What is the operational impact? Well, let's just say you have 200 malware related tickets a month, and you spend about 45 minutes per ticket. Roughly per month, that's 150 engineering hours. After Monarch, you're looking at about 80 and 15 minutes per ticket roughly, because the automation that we do, and it goes down to about 20 engineering hours per month. So the business impact is 130 hours saved that could really go towards something that's more important in your business, right? On the other side of the screen here, you have the server CPU. We do the same work because we do the heavy lifting. It's an average CPU usage of 1.33%, which is great because the next one's what, 10, 20, 30%, as you'll see. It's so low that you could run Monarchs next to your other solutions. We're more effective at dramatically less resource usage. This is an example of the threat shield, and this is because we have the Zend extension, the PHP runtime. We have a different look at at how things are being executed. Traditional firewalls stop the bad traffic before it reaches the site, but it can't always tell what's really happening. This is our advantage. We work differently. It lives inside the website code while it runs. You can see what each request is trying to do, and then it'll stop the attack in real time, not just guess. So it'll block things like spam, your brute force logins, bots, and codes before it even causes the damage. And this kind of goes back to needing to look at the behavior. In this case, the dashboard is just showing what's being blocked, which IPs are attacking, how systems are hardening, and you could drill further into it. It'll even give you file paths and all that. Okay, so this is the business side. Operationally, there's two ways to do it. You could improve your free tier by just locking down the site, the server, right? So all the sites get the same protection. Or you could provide more value in the paid tiers as an add-on. It'll give the hoster customers many more levels of protection, and you could do things like on-file patching, and it kind of goes down to kind of how you want to package it. All right. Something that's very special because our strongest suit is the WordPress site cleaning. So you could tell your customers that you can guarantee them no matter what happens, you'll have their customers back. It's just part of the escalation path. So when a customer reports an attack that's beyond automated tools, all the different layers are penetrated completely. You can route your case to us, and we have pretty fast turnaround. We'll clean and restore the site probably within 16 business hours, if not sooner, and we'll give you a proof of remediation, the example certificate that you see on the screen. The service is for sophisticated attacks. The compromised admin credentials and the weak passwords and outdated plugins that we kind of don't have control over, right? So we'll scan the database and clean it up on your behalf as you give us the request. Where most providers don't do this service, some only rely on the request because it is a resource. So you can consider this a white glove service. You could either give it as a monthly subscription or as an a la carte service after the fact. And this is an example. Monarch provides the security dashboard in the WP admin tool to convey the value. So you get to show your end users kind of what you're doing to protect them. So this is what the host customer will see. Architecturally, there's nothing for security, so we kind of made one. There's seamless integration, so the security module was fully hooked into the WP admin. There's no extra dashboards or anything. It's just the tab. It'll kind of give you the visible value, kind of the antivirus overview, and the insights that you're going to want to convey to your customer. And there's also that site cleanup upsell, very, very easy. It's right there. Everything's fully customizable. And it kind of also shows this always on defense. The protection enable is by default, so files are scanned continuously. But you could say, hey, what are you guys doing to protect me? And this is an example of what you could show them. So.
And I'll add a lot of that is also available in the cPanel plugins, WHM plugins, and all that data is also available via API. Should you want to expose that in more custom ways or into other types of platforms. So not limited to WP admin, but it's kind of universally available via a couple different channels. Happy to dive into that more too.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good. So we support the widest variety of architectures, panels, and CMSs. We can customize our packages to kind of align with your goals. We understand the tension that exists between the driving revenue and providing security with the freemium model. So we can iterate over time, hey, there's one package and then you can go into another package, but our technology stack is built to handle a lot of customizations. And our dashboards and reports are also customizable and it could fit into your branding. So we could pretty much cover any kind of CMS. All right. And this is just a summary of how your security would be improved, right? We've just discussed how traditional scanning isn't enough. signature-based tools and threats only happen after compromises. Modern attacks are stealthy and persistent. We're built for hosting environments. We are designed for the shared hosting, VPS, and agencies. Monarch protects every server and user by default with the infrastructure protection. We just discussed real-time prevention, automatic cleanup, and all this translates into higher client satisfaction and potentially new revenue. And as a result, you also have fewer cleanups and support tickets, so it further optimizes your internal operations and reallocates those resources to things that are more important to you, so to speak. All right. And now I'm going to turn it over to Will. He's going to discuss the dashboard and the modules within the dashboard. Are you ready, Will?
I'm gonna unmute first. Sure. So I'll start with a
Yeah.
quick. So this is really just an example of a partner's dashboard and helps kind of display the breadth of data that we're consuming on a daily basis. And that's really what helps us inform all of our decisions across the board. So one thing, a real advantage to us is a global footprint of intelligence. So we take data from all over the world. We see all sorts of different types of attacks. I think this represents that in terms of the type of volume that we see. And that benefits everyone from the largest host in the world to the single VPS owner. Is that kind of universal knowledge of what's going on. Yeah, you can continue. So that's what you'll see when you first log in. We also have dashboards that drill into kind of each component of our app. So this being the antivirus, which is really the on-disk stuff that we focus on. We have roll-ups that will help you understand where the worst servers or in shared environments, worst users are in your environments. And there's kind of unlimited drilling. You can go into that. You can go down to the file level detail, how that file was created on which server and which user. You can go to the next slide if you would like. And the firewall. So this is what's executed currently in the runtime, the PHP runtime, and we look at the telemetry of different requests that are coming in, and we're able to either block or allow those things based on what they're up to. And we're constantly building out new features, and this is pretty unique to our product, and it also helps inform the way we do things like in the antivirus. So it's all very kind of linked together in terms of what we're able to watch and what we're able to remediate. Similar with the patching world, so we do both virtual patching, which is again executed in that PHP runtime. So we can help kind of block known vulnerabilities in the world. And then also on the on-disk side of things, we have a list of CVEs that we can go remediate and help prevent any kind of additional malicious use of those things.
All right. Okay. So you ready for the live demo, so to speak?
Yeah. I can walk through kind of what installation looks like for folks. Let me
Okay.
take the share here. Sharing the correct screen is going to be helpful. Yeah, so when you first enroll for Monarx, you'll be directed to something that looks like this. So you can get a fresh credential file in here. So we have a few different types. You can invite users. You can get your API credential here. So that's for things that we spoke about earlier in terms of end user visibility, or if you'd like to pull any of this data into other platforms. But for the initial setup, the new agent credential is what you want. You can name it whatever you'd like. And download. That will look something like this. IDs and secrets are important so that our agent can communicate with the cloud. The other pieces that are important to configure at initial startup are the user base or scan base, whichever you'd like to think about it. This is effectively where we look on disk. So we have a couple common ones like home, var, dub, depending on what your environment looks like. And you can uncomment that and paste it into the directory. We have a bunch of installation instructions as well, but that goes into etc monarchsagent.conf. Everything down here is optional. Things like host ID will help you identify a given server in your fleet if you'd like, whether you want to tag it as shared. We have some naming conventions that can be helpful for identifying different types of use cases. So host ID and tags are important for that. So once that is set up, the installation is pretty simple. So we have a variety of different Linux OSs that we support off the shelf. If there is one on this list, or if there is not one on the list that you're looking for, please reach out. They're relatively easily spun up for at least Linux. And the initial part, as we mentioned here, is go get your credential. You set up our repository, which I've done here, but once the repo is in place, the installation is relatively straightforward. So depending on your package manager, if it's yum or apt, yum install Monarx. Spelling helps. And this will pull down the two components that Mario had mentioned. So there's the agent and the Zend extension. There are two different packages that all get brought down together. This will attempt to go through and discover kind of common PHP installation locations. Anything custom will be kind of outside the scope of this script, but you can easily set up with configuring INI files and doing symlinks out to SOs. Happy to help there as well. We have documentation on what that can look like. So give this a minute to think. The demo gods are on my side. This will go quickly. While that's running, go back here. Once the installation is complete, you'll see within your account, we have the list of all the agents. Bear with me, this is a test environment. So once it's enabled, what it looks like is we'll go through and scan everything. And all that is required once we've completed scanning is to enable active protection and the variety of different, there we go, variety of different WAF and RASP features that you'd like to run. So in this case, if we're done over here, installation is done. So you can go in, we've got our Cloud Linux cPanel agent that we just installed on the bottom there. You can configure active protection, go in, and in this case, we're going to protect the entire instance. So you do enable for all users, and that's effectively it. And then we will block everything moving. We will remove existing malware, clean any type of injections that we've found, and continue to do so moving forward. There's also the RASP features in here, which is the WAF, everything WAF and runtime protection. That is a separate switch to flip. So we go in here and enable that for the instance as well. And that's about it. That should be all the installation that's required. And again, barring any kind of custom environments and different types of use cases, which we can support, whether it's upsell or otherwise. It's kind of what it looks like.
I think it's also important to know that initially when you install the agent, it's just going to scan and detect. You tell us when to turn it on for the remediation of the files, because we have a do no harm policy. So you have to kind of go through and let us know when you're ready, like for that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the general workflow when you're first trying things out is go install the agent on as many instances as you'd like, kind of look at what we're going to do. So call that kind of an audit. And once the audit is complete, you can go do things that are kind of more preventative and clean up past compromises.
Mm-hmm.
Will, question to you. When our resellers or partners sign up, they will get a 30-day free trial. They can already start doing this in the 30-day free trial, right? And everything they do in settings and that kind of stuff will be automatically their account also after the trial period.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We don't limit functionality during that trial. So you can, if you're happy to turn things on day 1, go for it. If you want to wait till day 29, also fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unlimited functionality.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Every time I see this, I'm pretty excited how easy it is and what you all check and see in data and what's happening. Of course, it's also a little bit, well, sometimes it gives you the feeling like, okay, there's a lot of bad stuff out there, right, that you want to keep out. So good that solutions like Monarx are there and also available in our vendor portfolio. I'm not sure if there are any questions. I didn't see any questions coming in. So if you have a question, please drop it in the chat. I don't see anything coming in. So, there it is. Let me see. A few questions that I wrote down. Where does Monarch live? It doesn't live inside Apache or Nginx, but it's a PHP extension and it's an agent. The PHP extension does the WAF, and the agent is more an OSEC thing. That's question 1.
Yes, so those are the 2 integration points currently. We are looking at additional kind of network layer kind of coming soon type stuff, but currently the agent is what does all the coordination. So the agent will do the scanning piece, the on-disk remediation, and patching. It also manages communication to our PHP kind of Zend extension. That's what we call protect. And the agent will forward any kind of rules that we instruct protect to execute, which is all things WAF currently. So those are the kind of the 2 integration points.
Okay. Question 2. And the panel I saw was not on the VPS, but in SaaS hosted, or did I get that wrong?
So there are multiple panels. Let me see if I can pull up. I can show you what the cPanel or WHM view would be.
So you have
But yes,
actually
so
yeah, go ahead.
there's multiple. So what I was just showing and clicking around in is the kind of cloud hosted SaaS side of things. There is also a WHM off the shelf solution, cPanel, direct admin, and a few others that enable site owner or kind of machine owner visibility. We have some documentation on that. I'm happy to share it here as well if that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, people can find it in the Realtime Register portal if they want to, right? Just log in into the portal or the domain manager, how you want to call it, and go to Monarch, and then they will find more information there as well. Or of course, you can reach out to your account manager if you want to. Then question 3. Patching is mainly WordPress or also other CMSs like Drupal. Do you cover CVEs?
Yes, so we are CMS agnostic for things like patching and our malware solution and WAF. The only thing that is WordPress specific is the site cleanup component currently. Everything else is CVs included is CMS agnostic.
Good question. Okay, thank you. Then the last
thank you.
one, for now at least, do you detect different hostings on the server, or do you scan as a whole?
So we will scan where we're told to. So if, in my example, where you're in cMail home is a common kind of root directory where all hosting packages live below that, and we can cover everything if we're told to. We can also go through and only cover specific accounts if so configured. So it's kind of up to you how you'd like the app to run. But by default, we will scan everything and we will protect everything. In the case where, say, there's a shared host and you want us to scan everything and only protect, say, Mart or whoever's flowershop.com, you can go tell us like, okay, here's the path that you need us to protect, and that's fine.
Okay, that's cool. And it
So
doesn't
some
matter
options.
which type of license you have, right? So if it's the VPS license or the shared hosting server license, or that doesn't matter, right?
Right.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I see an answer there, very clear. Thank you, Will. So I guess you answered all the questions in a good way. Yeah, if there are no more questions, then I would like to thank you. Like I said, very interesting to see it. Although I've seen it more often, it still is yeah, very cool. To the people in here, if you want to have more information, you can reach out to your account manager, or yeah, log in into your portal to check the information there. There's also a lot of white paper stuff, downloadable resources, etc. We will send an email to you if you were registered for this webinar. In there, we will also have a button where you can directly plan a meeting with your account manager if you want to have more information or whatever. Yeah, make sure if you have questions, please let us know. Yeah, Will, Gilbert, I want to thank you. I think it was pretty clear. So yeah, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for setting it up.
Okay,
See ya.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.